Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Late Show on Tottenham on Tour, joined by two very, very special guests. I'll go to the main guest and the co-creator, Mr. Bobby K. How are we doing, sir?
I'm good. I've got some serious lag going on here, though, boys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Can hear you, yeah, but do see
Okay.
the lag, brother. So maybe pop out and come back in again, and Brian and I can sort of chat until
Okay.
you. Yeah, let's try
do that. Nice to see you, Bobby. Goodbye, Bobby. Mr. Island, how are you, sir?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. I'm good. I'm busy. It's been a busy week for me work-wise, but just been obviously reveling a little bit in what's happened with Spurs, but also kind of terrified about what's to come. So it's a bit of a strange moment for us, but I do think most of us will expect that it was coming and that's okay. But we'll get into it a little bit. But I think it's an interesting moment for Spurs in this season.
We definitely are. Let's just let Bobby back in. Bobby, let's see. Are you back? Are you good?
Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
you're good.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, you're looking good, Bobby. You're looking
You're
good,
looking
brother.
good. So we're going
Good to
back to
go,
you.
good
How,
to go.
how
All
are
right.
you, Mr. Kang?
Not too bad, thanks, boys. Good to see you again. It's Wednesday night. We're halfway through the week, so
Good to see you,
almost
pal.
there, almost there. So
Welcome to the
almost.
Late Show again.
Yeah,
Exactly.
pleasure
He's,
being here. Thank you.
You're a
he's an
regular.
ever present. He's an ever present,
He's a regular.
which is
Looks
all
like I'll be
good.
here a while too.
Which all good, all good. Let's just say hello to a few people that are in the chat.
Let's do
We've
it, let's
got
do it.
Lisa. Good,
Hey,
good
Lisa.
evening, Lisa.
Lisa.
How are we doing? We have got Heath. Thank you very much indeed, Heath.
Hey, Heath.
Jose
Hey,
is
Jose.
here. Wicked Jose. I hope you're good. And of course, my good friend Totspur.
Good,
Hope
man.
you are all good. We've got 11 people with us at the moment. Hopefully that will go up. Just remember, people, we do have our own merchandise out now, which is at tottenhamontour.com. It's available. There's some great t-shirts and everything there. And yeah, we'll support the channel. There's loads of stuff coming up, and an announcement of some kind will be announced tomorrow. But let's get into the show. Let's get into it.
Let's get
the
into it.
first topic is bold or crazy. And obviously, everyone's been speaking about this, about Ange and the tactics for Chelsea, especially down to 9 men. Now, before I throw it over to everyone to say, first of all, I want to say big up to my protest partner.
Hey, Graham.
Big up, Graham. Good
How are you,
morning
pal?
to you. And obviously, Hypnotize
Hey,
is
Hypnotize.
all away with us as well. So, when we say bold or crazy, obviously 9 men. The formation we played, still playing attacking football, high line and everything. I just want to say before I throw it over to you two, what I don't get with this fan base is we start off, I'm going back to Poch times. People, the major negative about Poch before he went was his choice of substitutes and time of substitutes. That was a big thing that people spoke about with Poch. Didn't work. Okay, we had that. Then we had Nuno, Jose, Nuno, Conte. It was, oh God, this football's boring. It's too defensive. It's slow. It's rigid. It's counter-attacking. It's boring. I can't stand this. I want attacking football. We get Ange Postecoglou. We do attacking football. We are in a London derby, one of the biggest, and to some fans the biggest. And Ange continues to play attacking football. And then we have our fan base say,
Meltdown.
"What's going on? Why is he playing attacking football with a high line? What's he doing with Dyer and Royale?" And I will add to this: with Dyer and Royale playing a low block, they couldn't keep a clean sheet. So what was the difference with going for it? Ireland, I haven't spoken to you since the game. What was your thoughts with this? Bold or
Yeah,
crazy?
I think the response I would have is bold and crazy, but also like I loved it. I loved it. I think you can see below my name. It's the quote from Ange is whether it's remove the thing. What did I put at the bottom of my name, Bri?
Oh, sorry.
Remove
Sorry, one second.
the whether it's right or wrong, So the idea is whether it's right or wrong, and that's what it comes down to, is that we're buying into what he's talking about, what the type of football he wants to play, and no matter what's happening, he's always going to play that way. And we nearly won the game, and arguably the Dyer's goal should have stood. There's a bunch of moments where Sonny probably should have scored. We were with 9 men still better than them, despite obviously scoring the 4 goals. They scored the 4 goals because we had 9 men and we didn't have end to run back, and all the little details come into play. But we still pushed them and made them uncomfortable. Nearly got a goal. Probably should have been given one at least. It was epic, and for me, it's bold and crazy, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Play this football forever, and I will be a happy Spurs fan forever, because it is what is enjoyable about football, enjoyable about attacking football. It is to dare is to do. It's literally that. If you're a Spurs fan, then you should know that quote, and you should know that this is the style.
Okay, so before we come to you, Bobby, I just want to say, first of all, big
What's
up
up,
to Ren.
Hey,
And
Ren.
How you doing?
the Spurs lads couldn't give you the birthday present we all hoped for, but I hope you had a great birthday.
Happy
And
birthday, Ren.
I've just
Happy birthday.
realised, because of this, I've actually added, Brian, you're going to have to make another thumbnail for Bite Size, because I've picked another subject after this one.
Oh, have you?
And
Okay.
it's certainly going to, because someone needs a very, very big mention in a section. And believe me, I think you know what that section is going to be about. So, as we were saying, Bobby, what was your thoughts on it?
At the end of the day, Brian, how can we sit back and defend when we've lost arguably 3 of our 4 best defenders?
Yep.
We lost Van de Ven to injury. We lost
Exactly.
Udogie. We lost
Well said.
Romero to red cards. How do you sit back and defend when your defenders are gone? We've got Højbjerg playing in makeshift defense. We've got Dyer, who hasn't touched the field all season, coming in and having to play in a high press system, or a high line system that requires running like crazy, which we know that he does have pace. So what was the option? What did you want this man to do? If we sat back, I fear if we just sat back and took them on and let them just keep coming at us, I think the scoreline would have been worse. The fact that 33rd minute Romero went out, it was 55th, 58th minute for Udogie, right?
Yep.
So 55th minute. It was 55th because I remember they scored in the 75th. And I kept thinking for 20 minutes, we gave these guys a game. It was 20 minutes, 2 men up. It took them finally, hey, DT, they finally scored after 20 minutes. Then the ensuing 18 minutes, we almost got the equalizer a few times.
That Dyer goal should have stood, by the way. Did you see
Dyer goal in this household, you know what happened.
Should have stood, though. It went off the defender's head. Went off the defender's head.
That's what they looked at. They said no right away.
Yeah, we're not going to whinge like the Arsenal fans or Liverpool fans do.
What is the replay, by the way?
When do we go to Stamford Bridge? Oh, okay. I've just got what you meant there.
I think it's January. Yeah, but like, good joke.
You missed my smart assness there. Come on, Diego. You know me better than that, buddy.
But this is the thing. You look at it, and everyone was saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have played a high line. We shouldn't have done this. We got battered 4-1." Well, first of all, it was 2-1 until like injury time.
93rd minute and 97th, Brian.
And literally, if Dyer's goal had stood or Son had put the goal away, we're talking 2-2, maybe 3-2. Even
And then Ange is a
Ben-
genius again. You know?
even Benton Core's
There you go, Ireland.
Oh, Bentancur's minor header there. Yep.
minor header, boot, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
If any of those have gone in, everyone's talking. Oh my God, how amazing
What a
with
genius.
9 men. I think, Joe, what the main thing I take out of it as well, guys, and I'll go to you first, this one, Bobby, is this team didn't drop their head. Last season under Conte, mate, look at what we did at Newcastle. At Newcastle, against Liverpool, against other teams, we just drop our heads. That's it. Forget it. Let's just
Game over.
They stuck to the plan. They did everything that was required. They ran their bollocks off, and they literally played as a team, which we haven't seen for a long, long time, Bobby.
Brian, we haven't seen that from 11 men for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
So, for any person that's sitting here and saying that Ange is in the wrong regarding this one, for lack of better words, give your head a shake. Really give your head a shake. Again, just you don't have the tools to play defensively. I know the comparisons were being made with what the exact same thing happened with Liverpool, basically, where they went down and they set up shop, and they have Matip and Van Dijk back there still. Maybe if Romero and Van de Ven were still on the pitch, that would have been an option, and we just hold on for that draw kind of thing. Okay, but that's when you're looking at what we had, Brian, I don't think it was even an option. I honestly believe partially his hand was forced in terms of having to do whatever he could to salvage this game. And if it meant, screw it, either lose big or get the 3 points, I'm glad he made that decision. I certainly am, because there's a reason 60,000 people stuck around after that game and stood and applauded a team that just lost 4-1. There's a reason our rival fans are wondering why these guys got applauded after losing a game brutally. At the end of the day, like Ireland already said, 2-1 until the 93rd minute, where we were just done. These guys. I remember there was one stat that I remember reading that only 4 of the players that started that game finished the game.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
There's your 5 subs and your 2 reds, right?
Yep.
So there's 7 players gone or changed around. That's a lot. And for us to still be able to hit that level of performance, that's why even though I'm upset about losing Udogie and Van de Ven and Romero now, and that's a heavy hit all at once.
We'll get into that. That's one of the next subjects.
That's okay. So I won't get into that too far then.
Yeah.
I'm proud of what they did. I think that Ange got it spot on. I think he was 100% right. I think he was very, very bold of him to do what he could with what he had. This was a man, instead of bitching like our previous managers have about the lack of tools in the shed, he said, this is what I got to work with. Let's get to work.
Yeah. I mean, Alan, what have you got to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I would disagree with what Bobby said on is that I don't think it mattered whether he thought he had the right players or not. He was going to do it no matter who was on the bench, no matter how, whatever situation we're ever in, he's always going to play that way. He said at the end of it in an interview, down to 5 men, we're going to give it a go. And I just love that. I absolutely love it, because he's just like, he recognizes the situation. The reality of the situation is that you're rarely ever going to get a result in that scenario, especially going down to 9, 10, maybe you're 1-1 and you can sort of hold on to it, but you go down to 9, it's like, they're going to score. We have to also try to score. And that's what we did. The Dyer goal we spoke about, the Sonny miss we spoke about, the Bentancur header that could have, he got it in the right. We had 3 really freaking good chances, as good as the amount of that they scored, other than maybe the Vicario obviously standing on his head to doing what he did. I just think us fans have to get on board with it, because it's just so much fun, and it is exactly what I want from my football club. I want to be entertained, and I want my manager to understand, like, give it the go from the beginning to the end of the game, no matter what happens. And that's what he is. That's who he is. And that's what Tottenham are. That's what Tadera is to do. I said it earlier, that is the point of that phrase. And that's exactly what he's doing. And it makes me proud and just giddy a little bit.
Well, I'll go back to it as well. I can't remember a game, and then I'll come to you, obviously, Bobby. I'll go to Ireland first. I can't remember a game, not just for Tottenham, I mean in the Premier League, where a game has started and a team has lost 3 of their 4 defenders.
It was crazy.
Whether it be by red card, injuries, I haven't seen. I can't remember. And then you've got people coming on. Eric Dyer comes on without playing a single minute of a single game.
Yeah.
And for me, and I said credit where it's due. I think, all right, he was at fault for a couple. We know what his faults are, but he did, from the pressure he would have been on with knowing his reaction for him coming on. I think he did okay.
I agree.
Emerson Royale did what he can, but once again, a
Højbjerg was
player that
amazing.
Højbjerg was
Boy, it
just,
was amazing.
mate. This guy,
Oh,
how anyone
oof.
gives him any kind of disservice. I mean, that's a
Strange.
brand new. Porro was the only one, and obviously a certain person that I'm going to wait till the next section. Ren, if you're still here, you're going to love the next section.
Before
Yeah.
we get to
So,
that, I do have to do something for Big K because I promised I would.
oh, go on. You're going to do an Eric Dyer thing. Yeah. Do you know what?
Hey,
All right.
I completely forgot that. I forgot at the time.
promised that.
I forgot at the time about. But listen, the defense, it weren't the best, but at least they stuck Ireland to what Ange had asked them.
yeah, I think that was the thing I was impressed about the most. And of course, you get players who have been on the sort of fringes of this new Tottenham Hotspur squad with a new coach, and they're pretty much surprised that they're no longer involved in the the leadership group and all the things that came with that, which is Eric Dyer and Højbjerg. But they both came in and energized the players that were on the pitch and put us in a scenario where we could go and get those chances. Yeah, you play that high line against a team like Chelsea with Raheem Sterling and other players in that team who've got pace and who can get in behind. They're going to get in behind. They're going to get their chances. Vicario doing what he did was incredible. I just think that doing what he did is one of the best coaching things you can do despite the scoreline. And I would argue that the team, the players, and the coach all know it. They all went back afterwards and were like, that was the best thing we could have done because we now understand what is Ange ball, how we're always going to be, how we're always going to play. And the players who've been benched and who've been not involved in the first team, on the first team sheet week in, week out, have bought in as well. They bought in even though they're not playing. And that's what we saw when they came on. It was epic. Again, the scoreline doesn't tell you the story of the result and what happened. It was incredible.
Yep. Bobby, anything else to say on that?
You know what? Like Brian said, at the end of the day, what's being instilled into the team is that we don't give up. Something that we hated seeing in our team. Forget seeing our team give up. We saw our team not even try from the first minute. Forget getting to the 90th minute. So it's so refreshing to be on the other opposite end of the spectrum now.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the question: will Højbjerg be right? Him and I, we actually have a section.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll be discussing that. That will be coming up on the show. So we will
Stand
address
by.
that. So we're going to move on to the next subject now. I had to put this in there because I forgot how. Do you know what? Everyone's been talking about players, blah blah blah. We need to talk about this guy. Super, magnificent, wonderful, Big Vic. Now, this guy,
The cheap option.
mate. Listen, this guy. Everyone's been loving him. I am a huge mate. We did a show last week, and I've done shows on other channels where I've said there's only one goalkeeper I'd swap him for, and that is Alisson, the only one. Well, Alisson can go back there. I would not swap Vicario for anyone, and I do. This guy, I put a tweet out. I said, best keeper of the night, best defender of the night, most safe, mate.
Did you see? Sorry, Brian, to interrupt. Did you see his heat map?
Oh, mate,
That's hilarious.
So you look at it. I remember back in the day when Matt Letizia was playing, and he used to have 2 or 3 nominations for goal of the month every single month. Well, I think save of the month is just going to be A, Vicario Chelsea, B, Vicario Chelsea, C, Vicario Chelsea, D, Vicario Chelsea. And he is just he gets better and better. And at 4-1 down, I still give him man of the match by a country mile. I just can't believe how this guy just gets better and better and better. And this is just the start in it, Ireland.
Yeah, I think the thing about Big Vic is, like, of course, he's incredible at shot stopping, but the thing that what makes him seemingly to me so motivated is the energy he's getting from this team and where we can go. He sees it and he believes it. So every single moment he has where he gets a chance to make a save, the penalty, despite him not saving it, but getting his hand on it, pretty close. Like he thought he should have saved it. He was so mad that he didn't get over that line. His mentality is the mentality that Ange and this football club needs to have if we're going to go on to win things. And incredibly impressive what he did. Some of the saves were just, I was like watching, I'm working and I've got it on my laptop and things are going on. I'm just doing rehearsals. So I'm watching it and I'm just going, oh, trying not to yell because I was like, couldn't believe what he did, unbelievable. And when it comes to sort of like leveling up from our previous keeper and Lloris, and who did a wonderful job. I love Hugo and what he did, but I mean, none of us knew what we got, I don't think, until we've seen the last 4 or 5 games with what he just keeps going up and up, like you said, Brad.
So Bobby, before I come to you, there's someone in the comments who hasn't been seen for a long, long time.
Oh, I knew it. I was gonna be like, it's Cody.
Wow.
Fifth Element.
Here,
Wow,
Mr. Cody Mack,
What's
my
up,
brother.
Cody?
I hope you are good, my man.
Hell yeah.
I hope you're well.
Good to see you, pal.
There you go. Yeah, it's great to see Cody,
Good
and
to see you,
hopefully
Cody.
we're trying to get him down to the yard.
I'm glad. I love the sci-fi reference of the Fifth Element. I don't know if you guys know it, but I love that movie, and I'll take it. I'll take it, and it's 100% true.
There you go. But hopefully he'll be coming to the yard before Christmas.
Yeah, Cody, if you're coming to the yard, let me know. I'll be there for that for sure.
Yeah, and we'll make sure Bobby's there. And also, I think one of obviously Tottenham on Tour's own Ryan Isaacs is coming out here last week of January, early February, and one of it is honestly on his bucket list to meet Cody, because when it comes to Ryan watching Twitter, he says Cody wins Twitter, and Cody is the winner on Twitter. But it's always good to see you, Cody, brother. Bobby, your thoughts on Big Vic?
You guys kind of stole my thunder already, because I was going to say you were talking about trading him, who you would trade him for, and I was going to say nobody, but you went ahead and kind of already stole that one as well. Then I was going to talk about the fact that, not only did he make the saves, but he guessed the right way with the penalty. He just, another half an inch or an inch, he would have had that. So what did the kid do wrong? Absolutely nothing. Was forced to play sweeper keeper, and he did. Shane, oh my goodness, another long time.
What's up, Shane?
Yeah, good to see you, Shane. He was forced to play sweeper, asked to play sweeper keeper, something that we haven't really seen him do as much as he was had to do it this game, and he did it very well. He was off his line, he was out there. I don't know about this heat map thing that Ireland's talking about, but I'm assuming that means he was pretty much occupying Van de Ven and
some of the places
positions
where he actually is in the heat map. You're like, he looks like a center defensive midfielder. Like,
yeah,
he looks.
That's what I was going to say. He's so far out.
Like, oh, he's an 8. Right? Like, he looked like maybe it was Romero's heat map.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was up because you saw him so out of the box so many times, right? Because of what he did, we were able to stay in that game and still keep fighting. The saves he made kept us in that game. Had we gone down earlier, 3-1, 4-1, something like that, I think it would have been complete write-off. I think you would have seen dejected players. The fact that he was able to hold us in there single-handedly and give us the inspiration we needed to keep pushing forward then made the whole system work. It was easily our player of the match. The guy's just been absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad to hear this Raya, whatever the hell his name, talk is completely
terrible
shut down now, because I know a lot of people pissed. Oh, he's the cheap option, this and that, blah blah blah. But when you got a guy like Gigi Buffon himself coming out saying, if anybody's going to fill my boots, it's this kid, you listen. And it looks like this Buffon guy might know something. One or two things about goalies.
Gigi doesn't know
Gigi
anything.
might know about something about goalies. I don't know.
You reckon?
Apparently he was okay as one. Yeah.
Bang on, Cody.
He's okay.
Bang on. But no, what you got to look at as well is he just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. When Hugo came, sweeper keeper was what he was known for. Is what he was known for. That was the trend for goalkeepers at the time. That was what football in the Premier League was about, the sweeper keeper. The game's evolved, and it's now playing from the back. And I didn't even know that Vicario had this in him. I knew, obviously, he's made some great saves. And you got to remember, he made a wonderful save in the first half as well.
Yeah.
He made an incredible save in the first half as well. And literally, he was taking it to the face. He was taking it. It's his angles, he is just. And like you said, I still think right now, and I've been having this conversation with people, I'm talking about the whole Premier League in the summer window. Tell me a better bargain, or try and find a better bargain than Vicario for 17 million, because I can't think of one.
You know,
look
you might argue. Sorry, Bobby. You might
go
argue Madison for 40, but like this is even better. I think when it comes to the level we're getting out of it. You know, like when you think about, of course, what you're getting on the pitch to the what you paid for it. Madison was a steal. Vicario, like he's arguably going to be the best keeper in the world at some point. Like how long can we keep him? If we can keep him like we did Lloris, we're going to win some shit, because this kid is, it's levels, man. He is unbelievable.
Bobby?
I love the comments he made, when he was asked about coming to Tottenham in the first place. What was it, last week or the week before, where he basically said, I would have crawled over hot coal on bare feet kind of thing. You know what I mean? I would have cut off my left arm. I would have done anything to get over there.
He's an Ange player, man.
It's just he wanted, the fact that he wants to be here. We've had these discussions previously now, Daigle, about, I just want players that actually want to play for this club. Because we looked at players over the last few years that just looked like they weren't interested in being here. They were just here, simply collect their paycheck, and more than happy to just kind of ride it out, right? So, hey, good night. Put that on charge.
Well, you mean us having hair? Is that what was the question?
This is
sorry. What was that? I missed it.
Look,
what was it?
I'm going bald on one half of my head.
What's going on?
I got my
YouTube, obviously. Yeah, thanks, Roy.
I'm shaving mine. Mine's going off again. I'm going full.
I need a haircut too.
I'm going full skinhead as well. I'm having to do it. What was I say, Vicario? Yeah, you look at it again. He keeps getting better. Like you said, he's an Ange player, but you look at it. He came from everything. Like, that's what I was to say. Sorry, Madison, as you mentioned. Oh, it's Little K saying goodnight.
Yeah, quickly.
Come on, Little K.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a stream there, kid. I'm just kidding.
See you later, Little K. See you later, buddy.
Go with.
So yeah, you look at it. Madison,
family channel.
Madison was the replacement for Eriksen. It took 3-4 years. Van de Ven was the replacement for Vertonghen. It took 3-4 years. We've known before how bad we've been waiting for players to get the right replacement in. And fair play to Paratici, because it's a bullseye with the first attempt, didn't it, Bobby?
It's all of them. All of them. Udogie, Basuma, look, where is he? Sarr, Van de Ven, Vicario, Madison. All of them have come in and slotted straight in. This is what we wanted as Spurs fans. We wanted players that were going to come in and impact our starting 11. Now, you asked the question. I didn't answer it in the last round. When you said who's been the better deal than Vicario, I would say Udogie at 19. 19 million for him, right?
Yep. Around that, yeah.
So, it's 30 for Van de Ven. It's been absolutely amazing, man. Smart buys, great players. I really don't care. We were looking at, when you guys were on Kuvan the Kang on Saturday, when we looked at that list of players with the big money, and where they were and how they are. And I don't care about January being big money buys. I want the right players in. I just want to make sure the numbers are brought in and the right players are moved out.
Yep. And before we go on to, we mentioned obviously we're going to talk injuries. But the last thing with Vicario is just how shit scared did you get when he went down from that tackle from Mudryk, when he got the not concussion, but the hit to the head, and he stayed down. When I thought, the very thought of him going off, forget the game that he would have been the fourth one to be off, but could you imagine? We talk about Van de Ven being out and how big he is. We can talk about Romero suspended. I think the biggest drop in class is if that man gets injured, and it's Fraser Forster, and that scared the. I mean, how bad did either of you two? And I'll go to you first, Alan. Did you get slightly worried when you saw him rolling around?
Not slightly worried, terrified. I really think that we talk about Van de Ven, his impact. We talk about Madison, his impact. I do think the keeper and what he has given the defense their ability to feel comfortable because of knowing that he's there. They feel like they can do more, like pushing forward, creating the triangle that's between the three of them, Romero, Van de Ven, and Vicario. Like they have an understanding. And of course, when you lose one of them and then you lose another one and then you lose the third, we're like, we just lost our playing out from the back that was working so well completely. We are not going to be the same team if he goes as well. It was terrifying, and this is the nature of relying on the players that you have, maybe not having a deeper squad, but nobody has a deeper squad where they have two goalkeepers that are at the same level. Arsenal are a prime example of it, where you have one keeper who was really, really good, and the other one came in who was supposed to be better and who actually seems to be worse. So it just doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. You believe in the one that you got, and losing him, I think losing him would be the biggest loss. Over and above any of the other players, despite the effect that the other players have had. And I'm a big Madison fan. I think Madison has been so impactful, but blimey, Big Vic, holy shit. It's just levels of what he's doing. It's incredible to watch. And I play a bit of goalie myself, so I watch it and I'm just like, wow, levels.
So yeah, I mean, Roy, like I said at the beginning, I love Allison, and I thought, and
Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
say he's the one person I'd swap. But the way Vicario is playing, I just couldn't swap him. I just wouldn't. I think he has got a level higher to go. But Bobby, what was your thoughts when he went down injured? Were you getting slightly worried, very worried?
No, clearly you guys aren't Marvel fans, man. He's Venom. That boy ain't going down.
I'm
That
a
boy's
Marvel
gonna
fan. I'm
bounce
also
right up.
realistic.
Let's go. What else you
Oh.
got next, man? Let's
I,
go. Let's go. This
I,
kid is a beast back there. I love how vocal he is. I like
Yeah.
how aggressive he is. I love how agile he is. I'm honestly, boys. I'm so in love with Tottenham right now. I'm Van de Ven, man. I could just, man, that guy could convert me. I tell you now, man. I switch teams. Absolutely adoring that boy. Everything about him. The fact that he makes Romero better. Udoji's been absolutely fantastic. Madison, everything we've done so far. If I just hope that trajectory we on continues now come January. We're hurting right now, but I think it's also kind of we've got a mixed blessing with the international break coming in between too, and a
yeah,
soft Wolves coming up. So
I'd also add to that, I actually think, I know that this is not going to be a popular opinion, and I wanted to bring this up, and maybe this is a good time to do it. I think it's a good thing, because I think what this is going to do is it's going to bring this squad even more together, and the players on the outskirts even more together, and they're all going to be fighting more for the same thing, which is what we've seen, and especially what we saw in that game when everybody went off. We only had 4 or 5 of the original starting players come on, and the players on the outskirts came in and they fought for the badge. So Ange has done something for the squad in that way that I think. Despite this seeming like, oh, they lost 4-1, their unbeaten streak was broken, all the bad things about all the injuries, they're all bad. Of course, I'm not saying or suggesting that they're not bad, but in the sort of long-term project of where Ange wants this mentality of this team to get to win all the time, this is part of the process. You're going to go through this stuff. What the other players do and how they manage it is gonna get us there. So I think, maybe I'm a bit, over the top about it. I think it's not going to be as bad as everybody thinks it's going to be, but it's going to be a fun watch no matter what.
well, no,
I think we're going to see. Sorry,
go on, Bobby. No, go on, Bobby.
I was going to say, I just think we're going to see what players are made of. That's
Yeah.
it. We're going to see what the fringe players are. If these guys are going to step up, we saw it happen in the game. We
Yeah.
saw Højbjerg come in and just be absolutely outstanding. We saw
Yeah,
Dyer
that off
come
the
in
line
and
save with
actually
his
go
knee was
really,
like,
really good.
That's
You
amazing.
know, it's and when he banged it out, he was like, "Yeah, come
Yeah.
on."
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, like I really think that
They're
I
buying
don't,
in.
like you say, yeah, I don't think we're going to be as bad off us, but mind you, looking at our starting 11, we were supposed
We're
to be
gonna
in
get to that.
trouble.
We're gonna get to
We
So
are
you
getting
know,
to that. We'll wrap up with Kai, but I want to say, Shane is right here. The goalkeeping coaches, and not just that, the
is
backroom
his
staff.
nickname really Spider? Because that's
uh,
awesome. Then
Well, oh yeah,
Spider
you're
and
right.
Spider and Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried not to say the nickname for obvious reasons, and then you brought it up. But yeah, no, the
Oh,
coaching
sorry, I
staff.
forgot you hate spiders so
Get
much.
No,
over
I
it.
don't hate spiders.
Yeah,
You'll be fine,
I
Brad.
don't hate spider. I don't hate spiders.
you
It's
hate
snakes
Venom.
I hate, but it's the nickname. Yeah, I can't. It drives me mad, that nickname. I don't know why. It just really does. And Lisa, I can tell you that picture
Yeah.
is from today.
It is. It is. But it
from
doesn't
today.
tell you anything realistic.
No, it doesn't. And with
It
that
tells
being
you he's not on
mentioned,
crutches.
It tells
with
me
that,
which is good. It tells me he's walking to a different room than Sunny is.
hold it. Because
Sorry.
now we're going to actually talk about it.
There we
We
go.
are going to talk about our injury crisis. So listen, Van de Ven, we can talk about that picture in a moment. Big up. Let's just say the big up to some new people that have come in. So let's see the new people. So we have Jay that has come in. Big up, Jay.
Hey,
I hope
Jaco,
you
big
are
up, buddy.
good. We've got Alpesh that has come
Yeah,
in.
Alpesh.
Welcome. We have Ori. Big up
Hey,
to
Ori.
you,
Hey,
Ori.
what's going on?
So it's good to see you. We have.
So,
Hi.
sorry, can you go back to Ori's comment? I just want to
course I
finish
can.
reading it there. I was at the last line there. Oh shit! I didn't know that he has a history of hamstring injuries.
I don't know about that. I've never heard that.
I've
All
not
right,
heard
man.
it,
I'll
but
fly
we'll
over
check.
and be his personal hamstring masseuse.
Vic has got to get the
I'll
PFA.
rub fine hot mustard oil on those legs all day long for him.
Big up.
I got you,
Toxic.
Vicky.
Hope
Hey,
you are
Toxic.
good. Hope you are very good, my man. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. Roy's here as well, so big up, Roy. That's a few.
Roy.
Donovan, big up, Donovan. I haven't seen
Hey,
you for a
Donovan.
while.
Hey, shit,
Andrew
Donovan knows me
Jones has
well.
joined us, so big up. Who else has joined us? Noah.
What's up?
For a minute, I thought that was my nephew Noah, and then I would have thought, what are you doing up at 3 o'clock in the
2:30
morning?
in the morning.
Yeah, I would have been a little. I've been like, what are you doing? But
Well,
yes,
Uncle Brian's just getting home from the club.
oh yeah.
How old
Now
is he now?
back to-
6?
He's 11 now. He's 11.
Oh yeah, I know. He'll be
Um,
out later than that then.
So yes, getting back to the injury problems, Madison, and you know what? The one with Madison, I'm getting a bit concerned, not about the injury, but every single game, every time he goes down,
gets
he's
kicked.
rolling around. He
But he
gets
gets
kicked,
kicked a lot.
yeah, but I don't mind players going down, but Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. You can cut his leg off; he'll get up.
Different
He'll get up
type
and
of player, though, Brian.
no,
Different type of player.
but Ireland, that doesn't matter what happens when a player. It doesn't have to hold, stay down and roll around every time. There are ones
Well,
you can just get.
So
picked up.
I'm gonna quickly interrupt you, and I agree with you most of the time because I dislike that. But in that game he was fouled 6 times in the first half, and ended up going off injured because of the amount of kicks, and it would kick to his ankle. And I think if you're him and you're getting kicked that much and not getting calls, you're trying to get calls, so you're gonna go down. You're gonna be like, oh. Like this is happening to me, and nobody's giving me the calls. I understand it's annoying, but I also get why mentally he's kind of going like, I have to try to buy it a little bit so I get something out of this because I'm getting beaten up, and he ends up going off because of it. You know, so I get where he's coming from there, but I also understand the reluctance to enjoy that part of the game because I don't like it either. I find it like kind of a bit gross, but when you're in that scenario and you're getting kicked and you're getting beat up and you got to try to get some sort of control over that situation, you're going to do what you got to do.
Okay, how are you feeling with matters and the injury?
Well, we know he's got a history of injury issues from Leicester, right? So I think your friend Wayne has told us about this previously. About be careful, don't rely too heavily on him. He's not the kind of guy that's going to get through 38 games, whatnot, or 50 if you're in other competitions as well. So if he's getting a bit older as well now. He's 26 as well too, isn't he?
Older,
26, 27.
26. He's got.
Well, but I'm saying for football players, when you look at the rest of our
Pick up,
team,
Jack.
2019, 2021.
I guess if he's getting kicked that much, you might be worried about it for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is at. I'm pretty sure it's around the same time Kane started suffering a lot of those injuries, ankle injuries.
He had to change his game, and he's been fine since.
Right. So maybe we're going to have to look at adapting his game then to kind of avoid this, or finding, because people are seeing how much we're relying on him. So Ange is going to have to
get targeted for sure.
Yeah. So to avoid his targeting, right?
Yep.
I hope this hasn't been
Oh no, man!
I hope that's a precaution, because then that's an entire.
Let's not guys. Let's not melt down because one player didn't. It's
no. Ireland. He's saying that he didn't. It's not melting down. If you look
I'm not saying he's melting down. I see you guys starting to melt down.
No, I'm saying if he didn't train,
I don't melt down.
If he didn't train, and it's because he may have an injury, I just said it could be a precaution. But the thought, if it is an injury, going into Wolves with a completely fresh back four is like, oh my god. But let's get to Van der Ven, because for me, Van der Ven, that injury and seeing it, and there's something I want to say before we get into the injury, but to me, that injury was worse than the result, worse than the suspensions, worse. It was the biggest bad thing out of it. And one thing and I said this on We Are Tottenham TV straight away. I don't know why the Premier League managers, players, officials, or whoever does it said no to the automated offside. Because the automated offside at the World Cup and in the Champions League. A computer does it. 2 lines, bang, done. See ya.
Done. Yeah.
I am 100% convinced Van der Ven has picked up that injury because of
Because
all
of it.
those bloody stoppages, and then he's stopping for a while, and his body's warming, and then he's having to go straight back into it. Then it's another stop, and then bang. And I am completely convinced. And the worrying thing I've got about Van der Ven, that picture to me that we were talking about that Lisa said she saw, means nothing to me. His crutches could have easily just been on the other side of the room. He could have anything could have happened with that picture. To me, that looked like the kind of hamstring tear that Harry Kane got when we were doing All or Nothing at Southampton, and it ruled him out for months. Thankfully, or not thankfully, but COVID came, so he came back for the latter part of the season. If it weren't for COVID, he would have missed most of the rest of the season. But that Van der Ven injury is very, very concerning for me. Bobby, your thoughts about it? I know he's, like you said, he can make you turn. So
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about the kid. To see him injured for more than 5 minutes is going to be heartbreaking to me. I think he's just absolutely crucial to what we want to achieve going forward. I don't think it's going to be long before Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern, and the big dogs are barking and looking for him, because he's just absolutely amazing. The way he slotted in after being here, 4 days or something like that, 5 days before he was just thrown right in, and he's quiet. He just goes about his business. The pace this kid has, my God, the way he gets up and down the pitch. But I do remember reading something about that Twitter picture. There was something said about how he was in full training gear, and he didn't have any straps on his legs, and he was standing up on his own strength, and he had his gym gear on. So any further than that, I don't know, or anything like that. I haven't seen any kind of updated report. I don't know if you guys have, but it could be a muscle pull or a strain, which just takes hopefully a week or two max. Or if it's a tear, then yeah, we've got a major issue. But now we've got to find out, is it a sprain or is it a tear, or how bad is it? I know right now they've said they can't do the scan because of the inflammation and the swelling. So let's just hope once the inflammation and the swelling goes down that we get good news. That's all I'm hoping and praying for right now. That and the lottery. Other than that, Van der Ven, it's all about you, baby.
Jack, we're discussing Leeds. Leeds? Where the fuck did I pull Leeds from?
Wolves.
Wolves for starting 11 next. That is the very next subject. Big up to you at 2:48 in the morning, staying up, Jack, and watching us. I appreciate it, buddy. One of my
He's in
closest
England,
friends.
yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my closest friends. You've done a stream with him when we did with Johnny.
Oh, that's
Do you remember?
Jack. Oh,
That's
okay.
Jack. So that's Jack. There you go.
I didn't know his last name.
That's what I'm gonna have to call him now, Jack.
Jack.
Jack is his new name, and he'll be coming on the
How
show.
weird
a
does
lot
my
next
head
week.
look when I do that?
It does
Every time
actually
you're
look
next
weird.
to me.
It actually does look a bit
When you're
weird. But
next to
also,
me.
so we're looking at the injury list. Obviously, we could talk a bit more about Van
Do I
der
get to
Ven.
talk about Van der Ven, or
Oh, did I not get far
it's
away,
okay.
brother?
No,
Sorry,
he's mine.
No, of course you do.
No,
Of
he's
course you do. I
mine.
thought I'd spoken to you. Go on, bro.
Yeah, just to add to it, I mean, I think this is was everybody's response. I was watching it, and all the things that had happened previous to that, you sort of go, okay, like stupid. Why'd you do that? Red card, fouls, all the things that were happening, and then at the very sort of end of it, it peaks with Van der Ven running at pace and then pulling up, not just pulling up, but pulling up, and like you could clearly see the fellow was in pain. And it was one of those ones. This is not a 2-week scenario. This is a 2-month probably. We probably won't see Van der Ven play in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt like as a starter until January. I think that's generous. Even I think mid-January that's probably how long it's going to take. It's one of those injuries. My understanding is it's a certain tear. And that the length of time it typically takes to recover is long. And that they're looking in January of who can we bring in as a left-sided center half. So it hurt, man. It frickin' hurt. And as you guys all said earlier, and as everybody else has sort of reiterated, it is one of the worst injuries that could have happened. Red card to Romero, red card to Udogie. All the different things in that game, losing to Chelsea in that manner, Pochettino's return, losing to Pochettino in that manner, all of those things I could have just been like, I don't give a shit. Van der Ven's injury is the most important and the most impactful, and we're gonna struggle because of that, because of the way we play and and we saw it with the high line without somebody fast. we're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say as well, there's two comments that have come up, and we can discuss this before we speak about another injury. Alpesh saying the Premier League needs to stay away from warm, active, long VARs. Just
Get rid
have
of the
warm
fucking
pads,
VAR.
muscle simulator, and gym bikes to keep the habits in check. And then
It's a good show.
Mick Dundee's come in and said it exactly. Listen, here in Australia for rugby league, the players have exercise bikes on the sidelines to keep the players warm whilst they wait to go back on. There's got to be. You look at it.
Something like that. I mean, that's a solution. I like it.
It's got to be, but the other thing is, a very little quick chat siding away from this. We'll come back to the injuries. I've got to the point now where I would be happy if if we had the goal line technology, automated VAR for offsides, and then the rest referees. That's it. The automated offside comes in, checks if anything's offside, done like that. Everything else, referee's choice. No fourth official can maybe, but then the game's just going for smooth. It got to the point. What was it? 12 minutes in the first half, 10 minutes in the second half. VAR is meant to be clear and obvious, but now it's just it's like Stevie Wonder is man in the VAR, and he's got to check everything.
No, he would do a better job.
But this is the point. I mean, would you be happy, Bobby, if it was just the automated offside and the goal line technology and everything else?
I'd be happy if they stole a system pretty much out of any other sport in the world right now. I've been watching the World Cup of cricket, and the way the calls are made and how quick the reviews are done, and the fact that the game's back on within less than a minute, 30 seconds most of the time, tops. It's unbelievable. You see it in rugby all the time. Mick Dundee's in here. He's speaking about rugby, so I don't doubt he's a rugby man. So he can correct me if I'm wrong. Anytime I don't watch much rugby, but I have friends that do. Anytime I've watched it with them, I've seen any kind of calls or disputes or something where they have to go to this VAR system or whatever they call it in their league. It's quick and accurate. The fact that the process now has gone to a point where it's slowed down to a dinosaur crawl and is inaccurate is foolish. I know the league is not going to get rid of it. And I know 100%, and I'll bet money on that, because you look at the Luton scenario where they were not able to play games at home because they didn't have the right VAR.
I think they like it because it's controversy. That's
what I'm saying. But Brian, Ireland, it's also at the point where the controversy can be created. Us three can slow down a play and turn the angle of the camera to where it justifies my argument. You can then turn it wherever you want to justify your argument. How is that right?
No, I don't know
if those true. Angles and well, anytime VAR, you can't argue with me the fact that anytime we've seen something slowed down, it looks worse.
Of course, I disagree with that argument. I think if you use the right camera angles in VAR or the PGML, MOL, and the people who are in charge of these things actually had a sense of football and what's the appropriate way to make a decision, this wouldn't be the case. Like it would. I think if you had players involved in the decisions of whether something's offside or whether something's a foul, that would change. You're relying on these referees who've been trained a certain way about this is the rule, this is the law, this is how to follow the law, but they're not following. It's not what's good about football. The law, the vagueness, the moments, those are the things that are important about football. When I see these things happening, it just continuously gets more and more frustrating. And I'm baffled by the lack of just sort of like simple recognition of why it's wrong. Like football is a free-flowing game. The reason I fell in love with football as a person who played it and then a person who watched it was for 45 minutes, you're in it.
You play.
There's a break.
Yep.
You have the break because we got to readjust. There's some text. We take a rest.
Yep.
Boom. Another 45 minutes.
Yep.
And then if you take those 45 minutes and you turn them into 60, 70 minutes, you've completely changed the game. This is not what we signed up for. This is not the football that we care about. Remove it until you know what the hell you're doing. Or it's pointless. Or like I don't know. Here's the thing, guys. Quickly, and I know I'm kind of waffling a little bit here, but did you not see where there was moments where that they do the grid and it's like it goes onside or offside in the final third and it shows it? There was times where they hit the grid, and then finally showed it, and there were times where they hit the grid and it showed it. is there not technology that just goes boom, onside or offside, we're done? Like it should just be
There is.
instant.
It's being used in other leagues.
I know, but
It's
how
not
is
ours.
it? How is it not being used?
I don't
Sorry,
understand.
I know it went on there a little bit, but that's the thing that's been
But
frustrating me.
even this, guys, even this as a suggestion, if you're adamant that you're going to stick with the system, which we know they are, too much money has been invested. They've forced clubs to
that's a
spend
big part
money
of it.
into the cameras, into the technology to have it instilled. Like I was saying, Luton had to wait to have their cameras instilled before they can play home games, and they were set up for VAR properly. So that being said, the investments made, the league is not going to back away from it. We know that. So if you're adamant that you're going to push forward with it, then correct it. Would it be wrong to say even this as a hypothetical? 30 seconds for your review. 30 seconds.
I would love that.
In 30 seconds, you can't make a decision. If it's not clear and concise to you, the call on the field stands. If it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter.
Or even like a challenge flag like they have in the NFL like works because it's quick.
That's true.
If you don't challenge it, and if you don't challenge it, it goes whatever's on field goes. Move on, boom.
That's
but
like
the difference is but in the
like
NFL, you lose a timeout if they're wrong.
Something like that. Just move on from this 15 minutes, 20 minutes of extra bollocks.
Let's get back to injuries because obviously.
Sorry, we went off on a rail there.
No, I was the one that brought it off. So
I know, but we all got into it, Brett.
And now I'm bringing it back. So the other injury, and obviously I don't know if people are going to think, oh, it doesn't really matter, but we've now found out Richarlison.
Yeah, the pelvis
is now out. Now, I wanted him to come on against Chelsea. I wanted him to be running the subs. I thought his hold-up play may have been, but obviously it came out the next day. There's no way it was going to happen. He's going to be out. I can't remember what the recovery period is for that. But thankfully, we're stacked in it. But now, do we think this is something he's been carrying for a while? And this could be part of the problem.
He said that. So
they said it's been it's been like 8 weeks or 10 weeks or something.
He came out and said he's been experiencing for a couple of months that he's been suffering from this pelvic thing. So it kind of goes back to a little bit what happened with Sonny, and Sonny kind of having that same thing as well, that he didn't do anything about the hernia or whatever it was. I get that because you want to play, right? And you're sort of expected to play. You have expectation. There's your salary and the bonuses and all these other things. But if Richarlison can't play at the level he's supposed to be at, and all of us are sitting there going, Richarlison shit, maybe he's not shit. Maybe it's because he thinks he should keep playing.
You mean like when we kept saying Sonny is shit, but he was playing hurt?
Yeah, I mean, but we all thought last season Sonny was shit. Like, oh, Sonny's off. He's lost it. Then we go into the next season with a different coach, and like he's dealt with his injury. Now he's back to being the Sonny that we know and love. I just think, it's one of those scenarios where we kind of have to be aware of the reality of their situations. And when somebody comes out and says that that's the situation, it's difficult. But I don't think it's problematic for Spurs from an injury crisis perspective, which is what this conversation is about. I don't think we're going to suffer from Richarlison being injured. If anything, I think it's going to allow Brendan Johnson and Solomon, who's about to become fit as well, start to give a little bit more in that position. And then Richarlison, if he does get fit, has something to live up to a little bit. So I don't think it's the worst thing, despite obviously nothing's good in that scenario when we have a player that we have that's injured. But
there is something bad in it, because the thing is, now if he does, when he comes back from the injuries, do our expectations as fans go higher then? Because you didn't perform when you're injured, and that's the excuse now. That's your scapegoat now. You had your mental health issues, and you had this.
No, Sonny's proven it, right? Like Sonny did that. Sonny said, "I was injured."
As fans, do we have expectations for him then? If we sit beside him, and ride him through this,
he's in the last chance saloon, isn't he? Really?
You get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah. I do. Well, with all these injuries, this is going to be the fun part of the show, and I'm going to make this as interactive as possible with the 52 people watching. As we move into
like button, folks.
As we move into the Wolves starting 11. Now, how we're going to do this? We're going to do it. We're each going to have our own one. I'm going to go through it each with the people watching. But we're going to do this in. We're going to talk first of all. Like, we're not even going to have a discussion about goalkeeper because we know who that is.
Yeah, it's Vicario.
So Bobby,
Vicario.
Bobby, who is your back four, and why are you going with that back four? And everyone else start putting your back four in, whilst Brian Island has a little think.
It's a big. It's a
Royal.
Big thing. Thanks for the time, bro.
Okay, so Royal where?
Left.
Okay.
Left back Royal. Phillips. Dyer. Horo.
So say it again. We're going.
Left to right, Udogi.
No,
Can't play
Royale.
Udogi.
Royal already, yeah.
Can't play
Royal,
Udogi.
Yes,
Royal
we
for
all want
Udogi.
Udogi.
Dyer in for VDV. Phillips in for Romero, and Poros.
Mine's the same, Brian. Mine's the same. I that's exactly where I was too, so I wouldn't change it.
So wait a minute. So it's right back Porro.
Right back
Yep.
Poro.
Phillips.
Yep.
No, right back Dyer, left back Phillips. No,
Right back
Or we
Dyer.
switching
No,
those two?
I swapped them. Yeah,
Okay, I was- whatever you- what- yeah.
Dyer.
Whoa. So right, Bobby, your right back is
My right back is Poro. My right center
Your
back is Dyer.
Yes, same.
Oh, sorry. My right center back is Phillips. What am I saying? My right center. Now he's confusing me. My right center back is Phillip. My left center back is Dyer. My left back is
Dyer is the
Royal.
left center back, though.
I only because I
I'm
think
worried
that
about that.
even though he knows how to shout and point, how fast is Phillips is my concern.
he's fast.
He's pretty
Is
quick.
he? Then
Yep.
flip
Fast.
then flip them around. Then
Yeah.
put
I
Phillips.
feel like you're keeping the team as close as we were before these
I'm
injuries
just trying to
by
mix up the
having
pace
Dyer
back
and
there.
Phillips.
Because
So
if Royal and Dyer are the two slower ones out of them two, then I want them split up. So I will take on the right
It's a good
Poro,
shout. It's a
right
good shout.
center back Phillips, Dyer, left center back Phillips, left back is Royal.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
mine as well.
That's yours.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll see what other people are saying. Then I'll give mine because mine is different. Mine is very different, or not very different, but
I'll be back in a sec, fellas. I gotta.
so we've got
Mhm.
Emerson, Dyer, centre backs. Philip likely to be on the bench. David, who you having on the right back and left back? Let's have Mr. 57 screens. How we doing?
Hey Wayne.
I see Phillips get a run out against Wolves. Well, he
Same.
has been called up. He's been taken out of the under 21s. He has been on the bench before. Who
You
else
also
have we got?
Dorrington, don't you?
No, so we've got Porro, Dyer, Phillips, Royale. We've got Porro, Phillips, Dorrington, Royale. And Jason, I'll tell you the one thing, I want to see Dorrington as well, but I don't think he's going to put two youngsters in at centre back
No
to make
way.
their debut. If we had a Van der Ven
Maybe one on
or
the
a
bench.
Romero, yeah, I could see. I'll tell you what, I would love to see this, but I don't think it's fair on the youngsters. Unless if Ange thinks they're ready, then that's fine. But to chuck them both into a Premier League game from the start may be a bit too much of a push. We got
Well, you keep
Porro.
Dorrington on the bench, and then we know Dyer's not going to be able to get through the whole thing. So come the 60th, if Phillips has held his ground,
So we've also got
and
Porro.
we're up 3-0 by then.
Porro. Oh, he's got. I'm liking it's something different. Porro. I can't wait to see your midfield then, MG, when we come to midfield. Porro, our new player diet, which Eric Dyer needs to go on. Phillips and
He's
Sarr.
a fat.
No, he could lose a few though. Bobby K stole my back four. Who else we
Sorry,
got?
Wayne.
Chicken, Dyer, Phillips, Porro. Who else have we got here? I may have to. Yeah, I like I said, I just can't see the two of them playing together. Porro, Phillips, Dyer, Royale. Want to see Phillips. If he's as good as Johnny, mate, I've been saying exactly the same as Johnny. Me and Johnny are on the same boat.
I want to see him. I think he's ready.
I am. So we're seeing that. So my back four
Let's hear it.
is
Sorry,
Emerson.
make sure you Google him, buddy. Appear a lot. I had to too. A lot of people are waxing lyrical
So-
about this kid.
So what? Ashley
About
Phillips.
Dorrington. No, about Dorrington.
Oh, no, Dorrington is a
Whoever
mate.
just put up the last message, I think it was Hi. Hi put I'm going to have to Google Dorrington. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
do it.
Alfie Dorrington. He's a very big up and coming prospect. So right back Emerson, left back. Sorry,
Right back
right back.
Emerson?
Sorry, right back Porro, left back Emerson,
Yeah.
Ashley Phillips, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And the reason I'm doing that is I want Ashley Phillips to have an absolute leader next to him, an absolute workhorse, an absolute warrior. Dyer came on, did his thing. Yeah, no problem. He did it. But you saw, like you were talking about before, the reaction from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg making that defensive save off the line. And I just think the way Pierre has been playing, whatever he's asked to do right now, he's been outstanding. And I think him at centre back next to Phillips is the way forward. What until we get Romero back, because obviously he's to be back before Van der Ven. Unless obviously Van der Ven does come back, it's a couple of weeks, which I highly doubt. Highly
No, it's
doubt.
not going to be a couple weeks.
I am going
Right.
Pierre Højbjerg. Yeah.
I want to give you a ton of props on that because I think it's probably the best case scenario is having a player like Højbjerg, as we all know, and we saw what he did when he came in and the level he can get to, the inspiration that he can provide. I think it's great. I think you put in Højbjerg right or left side. He can play it because he plays as a defensive midfielder. So he's not concerned about whether he's left-footed or right-footed. So you're taking an 8, putting him into a center half position, and then you're putting a player beside him that needs leadership, but also has a ton of quality. I think it's a great shout. I actually think that I would like to see that. I don't know that Ange is going to do it, but Ange he likes to take risks like that. He likes to put players in different situations and get the best of them. That sounds like a bit of an Ange move. So, I commend you for that. I agree with that. I think that'd be fantastic to see.
So what I will say as well for people that need to know about Phillips, like Jack said, me and John, well, I've put tweets out from the second we signed him saying the year is 2029 and Ashley Phillips is leading the team out as captain. Obviously, forgetting Van der Ven probably would be, or a Vicario, whatever. Ashley Phillips, it's unbelievable. Do you know what? When I lived in England, the home of football, the home of the Premier League, I'd never met a Crystal Palace fan. I'd never met a Blackburn fan. I've met loads here in Toronto. And one of them is one of Ilana's friend's fiance. His name's Martin, and he's as diehard Blackburn as they come. And he used to talk to me about Ashley Phillips before he signed, because he used to watch the youngs, them in the youth academy and coming through in the under-21s. And he was like, "We have a player in our hand here," and he kept talking about this guy. Obviously, I didn't pay any attention to it. And then he said he hasn't played a lot in the Premier League. The Championship. You got to remember, a defender that's playing in the Championship, yes, there's a big step up in the leagues, but he's 18 and he's playing with and everyone's going, he's too young. Well, we did it with Tanganga, with Jose Mourinho against Liverpool. We did it with Ledley King against Liverpool. I can't even remember who the bloody manager was back then. Jesus Christ. But
nobody remembers, Bri.
Mate, that was back at. But Ashley Phillips for me is literally a future England star and Tottenham star. I am delighted. I was so annoyed when we didn't get him at the first point, and I was obviously going mad, Levy, blah 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 blah, and then we ended up getting him up for cheap as chips. I would love to see him start in the 3 games that we've got him out. Like Romero's out for 3 games, regardless, no matter what. I don't think I'll play Ashley Phillips against Haaland. That might be like way too soon. Like, oh my god!
But Ashley Phillips beside Højbjerg against Haaland. I mean, that's a different question, right? Like Højbjerg is such a leader, man. I think that's such a good shout. I really do. I considering what he did when he came in that game and what we know about him as a player and his ability to manage situations and be intense. Great shout, Bri. Great shout.
I think Man U only have the option to cancel the loan in January when their left back is fit. So Reguilon may be back in January. So
regardless, Brian, we've got our 25-man squad.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, if he did come back, that's a very, very good
one. Can't get inside anyway.
It doesn't matter. We can't even bring. We got to move. Yep. We have to move players.
Okay.
Got to have it now, in and out. It's got to be.
So now we'll move on to midfield. And the midfield, I want to do it as if Maddison was injured. And we'll go to you first, Ireland.
I mean, if Matters is injured, oh man, you know what? Here's the thing. Okay, we've talked a lot about Ange and like believing what his tactics are and believing what he wants to do. Lo Celso has been on the cusp. I know that this is going to be, a lot of people are going to question whether this is the right thing to do or not. It's either Lo Celso for me or Bentancur who fits into filling in for what what Maddison can do. Lo Celso in the preseason was brilliant in that role. He seems to understand it. I think there's potential there. If you're going to against Wolves, because we're talking about against Wolves, I'm not talking about moving forward in every scenario, but against Wolves, let's see what Lo Celso can do in that scenario. When let's just give, even if Maddison isn't fully, he's not out completely. Let's just try it. Let's just see. This is a game where we've got a lot of points. We're in a position where we have a scenario where we can try something and give these players an opportunity to show what they've got. Lo Celso's a great player, like in the right system. Is this the right system for him? Let's try it out. Let's give him a chance. I think I put Lo Celso in for Madison to start against Wolves. I don't think that's risky. I think that's there's questions, of course. I don't expect it to happen. It's to be beautiful, but I do expect Lo Celso to step up and play at a level that we haven't seen him play because he hasn't played a ton of attacking football at Spurs. I want to see that, and if it fails, then I'm ready to move on.
So basically, you go Basuma, Sarr, Gio.
Yeah, Basuma, Sarr, Gio. I like Basuma and Sarr. They're not leaving. You're replacing Madison. Bentancur, maybe for Sarr, if you want to be a little bit more pragmatic and just control the game a touch. But I do recognize that I think we're trying to control his minutes to make sure that he stays fit.
Yep.
So we don't lose him like we might lose some of these other players. Like we need, when we've lost all these players, Bentancur coming back in gives us a little bit of sense of like, okay, we're not totally fucked,
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I put it.
Bobby?
What am I supposed to do? I do not know.
Decisions.
This is a crazy thing.
Sarr, Basuma, Kulu. I was just
Bingo.
trying to decide between. I was trying to decide between Hill and Kulu,
Love
but
the Kulu as a
I
10.
want to see Kulu there because I want to see him stop being used on the
Kulu
right.
is a 10.
So
Brennan Johnson on the right, Solomon on the
Johnson.
Solomon won't be on the left.
Solomon's
out for
Right.
the
Brian,
He's on the edge.
Brian
He's on
Hill
the
on the left, buddy.
So yeah, Roy said this is the thing. I agree with you completely. That's what I want. If Madison's injured, I want to see Kulusevski there. He's got a point that I don't see it happening, but I agree with you. I think it's come to the point where Kulu needs to be played somewhere else because obviously when we get to the forward line, I think people will know who.
Good show, Bobby.
Actually, I'm going to change it.
You change it. I'm keeping it.
I'm going to change it.
I'm switching. I'm changing. I'm going to Kulu as a.
I'm changing only because I just remembered the Richie is out as well. Solomon is out as well. We've got Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski, and Sonny only, and Brian Hill is our wingers. That being said, I would rather throw Brian Hill into the 10 role and leave Kulu where he is with Johnson on the left.
Okay. So
I really want Johnson on the right. I really want him to start.
Yeah,
Johnson on the right, Kulu in the middle, Hill on the right.
We haven't got to the third. We haven't got.
Get excited, Brian.
We'll get to the three.
Slow down, young man.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I think.
Calm him down, man.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I think Kulusevski needs.
You better stop talking like that. It's racist.
You've got to remember with Kulusevski, he played very well in the 10 against Sheffield United. It's where he plays for Sweden. He can play that role, and I think I think he's going to be more effective there. So obviously we know if Madison's.
Man, Brian, you keep making great points, man. I'm just loving your points.
I'm going to change my mind again now. Damn
it. Maybe it's because of
his points.
Maybe it's because of the late show. Maybe it's the late show, and my brain is coming alive at night. Who knows? But I'm going. If Madison's fit, we know it's Basuma, Sarr, Madison. Oh, yeah. But if it's not,
Basuma, Sarr, Kulu is great.
Right. So now we're going to come to the front line, and I'm going first this time. I agree with you, Bobby. Brennan Johnson on the right because that is his position. I have to say,
is a 10. It makes sense.
The one thing that pissed me off with that Chelsea game that wasn't about what we spoke about was the fact that Brennan Johnson was substituted. I think Brennan Johnson was the player for the first 25 minutes.
He was amazing.
Chelsea did not know how to handle him. Chelsea did not know what to do with him, and he's more effective on the right. So my
but he's more of a kind of player that runs.
I'm going Johnson. He will run people ragged. I am going Johnson, Son, Brian Hill. So my full lineup would be obviously Vicario, Porro, Phillips, Højbjerg, Emerson, Basuma, Sarr, Kulu, Johnson, Son, Hill. That is my top. So Ireland,
I'm just
who you
gonna
going up top?
I'm just gonna chime in here, Bri, quickly. That is exactly what we should do against Wolves. Probably the best lineup we could put up when it comes to what we have in our side at the moment. And well done, sir, for being that spot on about it. Because I thought about Decky as the 10 because Decky is a really good 10 for Sweden, as you said. He has that in him. He's a creative player. We saw against Sheffield. He got on the other side. He created a goal. Oh man, that is exactly right. We have the replacement for Madison in the side who's already playing and fit, and it's Kulu, not Lo Celso.
So Bobby, let me ask you a different question. Kind of like this comment here. If Madison was fit, would you play Johnson on the right and put Kulu on the left? Because I've been saying I want to see Kulu on the left. I want to see Kulu
I think we all do. I just want to see him play
the
somewhere.
Three of them a bit more free.
Yeah,
I just want to see him not on the right. I know that.
I like him on the right. He's done amazing stuff there.
He's done. That's the thing. It's because he's not doing the flashy stuff, but he does do a lot of the grunt work. And I think that's why he was left on with Chelsea, because I don't think Johnson has the ability to hold the ball up the way Kulu does.
It's a hold up play,
right
on the right side.
This kid put the ball in front of him, let him run onto it. But Kulu has the ability. He does the same damn move, and yet he still comes up with the ball.
Because he's good at it. He's good at it.
So, and that's the point, Ireland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it ain't broke,
just if he can keep beating people that way, just keep beating people that way.
It's working for him. So I would just like to see a bit more pace injected, and I think Brian Hill and Johnson on the wings would do that for us. I think this is the perfect game to try somebody in that role, and even if needed, let's leave Madison on the bench to start and bring him in if needed. I think he's fragile right now because it's he hasn't finished a game yet, has he? All season,
he's getting attacked too, man. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think he's finished a game. So if we
prepare
a
game without Madison on the side, and we start with, like as you just said, Hill, Johnson, Decky, Son, right? In 3 in the 1.
So my back is Vicario.
What is whoever we play? What are Wolves going to think tactically? Like what? What are they doing?
Why is not only that? You look at that. It's here. Thank you, Brian. You look at it there with Kulu, Hill, Son, Johnson. Those 4 players,
I love it,
can play all 4 positions.
Yeah, lot
now
of
you have shifting and moving and pulling players out. You know what I mean?
Guys, both of you guys impressed me tonight with your.
Sometimes I do pretend I know what I'm talking about. Not bad.
It's very good. It's very good, right? You're so good at what you do. I'm so proud of you.
This is what Ange did as well. We're swapping This is what happened with Ange swapping wingers over. He's done it before. He can do it again.
Oh, there
and
you
then
go.
you look at it. That team's got a lot of movement and a lot of fluidity. I personally think the most important partnership there would obviously be Phillips and Højbjerg, which will be obviously the main aim to look at. But is that so? You're saying, Ireland, that's the team that I've said is what?
Yeah, I think the thing that's coming into here, and I think what's smart about what you're saying, and Bobby, but I think both of you, what you said is, and what Ange typically does is that he looks at the side he has and the players he has, and he puts them into positions that suits the system. And we're all thinking like, oh, this player plays this position. This player, Højbjerg is an 8. Brennan Johnson's supposed to play here. They're all supposed to fit into these categories. And Ange is sitting there going like, my system is this, and this player do this player do this. And I think you guys, based on what you've picked, from my perspective, I didn't pick it. I was thinking like try to jam Lo Celso in there. But I think Decky is a 10 with Johnson and Sonny and what's his name?
Brian Hill. I went with
Brian Hill. Thank you. The Hill. Those 3 across with. Oh man, that's ridiculous. That is a really, really, really difficult
attack-minded
team to play against. The only thing that we obviously will struggle with is who plays in the defense. But if you have Højbjerg and Phillips in the controlled defense we know what or the other players are going to do defensively. I think that's brilliant, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit blown away by thinking about that now, because I think if Ange is going to do that, and if you guys know as much about Ange as it seems like you do, that and he will likely do something like that, I'm not that worried about the next 3 games. I'm not even.
No, for 3 games. Listen,
I'm
we've
not
got
even
Villa.
worried about
Villa
it.
at home is a different beast,
I'm
and
not
Man
even worried
City
about him.
away. Man City away.
I'm
is
not. Man City away is whatever it is. Like, there's no expectation there. Man City we beat at home. Generally speaking, that's not an issue. I don't have any expectations of going to Man City away and winning. I don't think anybody does. You go there and you lose, and if you go there and you're valiant. No, but like, if you're valiant, you try to do the things. It's a thing. But we're not expecting to go to Man City and win. So that's not those aren't points we expect to get. But going away against Wolves, I expect points. And if we play the way you guys,
they just lost to Sheffield,
and we play attacking with that lineup, with that front 3 in that defense, I actually wouldn't be worried. I don't think Wolves have anything that I'd be concerned about in that scenario. I think we'd be okay for that game. The Villa game is a bit different, but I think the Wolves game I'm not concerned about.
Well, it's because it's kind of like what you said also, Ireland, in the sense that, we see Ange is kind of just allowing a freedom on the pitch, and is kind of saying, you're not in this specific position, but you're responsible for this area of the pitch.
Yeah. Well, in here, if there's space in there, go there. Go there.
We went from managers, the square pegs in a round hole scenario thing,
and yelling at them the entire time,
and forcing them into situations that weren't working for them, and now that they're unleashed, and we're seeing what's happening when they get unleashed. I'd love to see. Can you imagine the pace that Brian Hill and Johnson are going to bring?
With Sonny in the middle and Decky behind them. I mean, come on, that's like almost better than what we have right now, potentially.
It's a FIFA lineup.
I actually think that this is the way Ange thinks. Just to add to this, I think Ange thinks that way. Like, he's not thinking like, oh, I'm so reliant on these players, and if they're not there, which is what we saw under Conte and Mourinho, this is the only way we can play with these players.
Yeah.
Ange is going, I got all these players, and then if this happens, I can do this. And if this happens, I can do this. If this happens, I can do this. He's agile. He
doesn't have blinders on.
No, I don't think so. I think he sees what he has and he knows how to manage the situation. We're all going to think he's nuts, and all the pundits are going to go, Ange is crazy, which is what we saw after what he did with the 9 men. Why are they playing such a high line? We've never seen this before. Carragher losing his mind, loving it, by the way, but losing his mind completely. That the fact that he has the players and the understanding of what to do with them, I'm actually not worried about the injuries. I'm still worried about the injuries because I'd be stupid if I wasn't, but I'm not as worried because I think Ange will fix it. Ange will know what to do with what we have, and we will deal with it. We won't be top of the league, but we'll still be winning a lot and being really difficult to play against.
First time I'm going to disagree with you. We're winning the league. Sorry, Dago's been trying to say something for like 5 minutes.
I'll take it.
Let's have, before we wrap the show up, score predictions. Bobby, we'll go to you first.
Well, with my lineup, it's an easy 3-0.
Okay, you're sticking with that?
Hell yeah. Okay, fine. 3.5-0.
Okay, 3.5. Okay.
Honestly, all jokes aside, 2-0. I don't think Wolves have much. They barely got a goal against Sheffield, from my understanding. I know they lost 2-1 the last game. So I know Neto's out. I saw Jaco confirm that, so he's still out this game. I really don't see what they have coming forward to kind of really scare us, even the fact that we're going to be using a lot of our fringe and squad players now. So they're 2-0.
Correct. And most importantly, are you coming to the yard on Saturday at 7:30 in the morning?
That's a hard no.
Okay, well, it's a hard yes from me.
I'll see you on the 25th, buddy, for Villa.
Yeah, but then I'll see you at the yard the next day before we go to the hockey game. So
yes,
I'll see you on the 20th.
You guys are going to see each other a lot. It's very sexy.
Yeah. Ireland, what's your score prediction?
Getting dressed up.
My score prediction, I think, is 1-0 Spurs. I think it's going to be tight. I don't think we're going to have as much going forward as we're used to because of what we build up from the back with the players that are missing. But I do think the organization and the style and the Ange ball, I know it's a bit like kind of obvious. The way we play is the way we play, and it doesn't matter who we play against and who plays. The teams are going to be challenged to play against us. So I think we'll get the win. I think it'll be tight. It'll be difficult, but I think we'll win 1-0.
Okay, so I'm going with Jason. I'm going with Jason at 2-1. That's M's. I'm going to go with Jason at 2-1. Like you said, I think this is going to be a huge test because after the Fulham game, it was there's so many changes. We went back to Burnley and we did what we did with our first 11.
Yeah.
This is the first time coming off a defeat in the league.
Defeat and then a bunch of injuries. So there's
Exactly.
there's so much context there.
We shall see how we do on that. But Bobby, very quickly, where can people find you, sir?
Right there. The Three Spurs Boys is the Twitter account. Remove the and the number 3 in Spurs Boys, all one word, for the YouTube channel. Kids had a video come out this morning, the weekly recap that they do, and Little Brothers Battle. And on Saturday, we're going to do a pop-up Couve and the Kang, but we're going straight to the game, straight to Spot the Bull. So we're going to have only one round to Spot the Bull, and we're going to increase it to 5 stories and have a full panel on for just a little bit of maybe an hour's laugh and have some chuckles on Saturday night. And hopefully we'll be celebrating a win as well. Well,
cheers to have you on, Bobby. We love you on this channel, and your boys, your guys are always welcome. Appreciate
it, man. Appreciate it.
And before I get into what we're doing, I just want to say, Heath, thank you for coming in, and hope you're liking it. Thank you. You know what?
You forgot the hashtag, bro.
No. 1 second. I just want to thank him for coming in and helping our viewing figures go up. And
appreciate the better for our algorithm.
Yeah, I hope you've liked and subscribed to the channel because what you've just done to just pop in and say that has just improved our algorithm. So thank you for saying that, but helping the channel. So well done, Heath. Please come back. Right. What's going to be happening on Tottenham Tour? So there will be the dose with Ben and me tomorrow. There will also be at some point an announcement with me, Ireland, and Ben.
Big stuff coming.
Big stuff coming. We're about to announce
we're excited about
a show that's going to be coming to you very, very shortly. It's going to be a bit of fun, a bit of festivities, and just a general great show to be a part of. They're all going to be pre-recorded, but the announcement will come tomorrow. Ireland, thank you for joining me tonight, as always, on the Wednesday.
Absolute pleasure. Just to add, if you guys don't mind, again, what Brian said when it comes to supporting the channel, TottenhamOnTour.com. Get your, go in and buy a jersey, buy a t-shirt, a hat, whatever you like for, Christmas is coming up. Helps the channel, helps us support what we're doing.
Your link.
No, your link for the store.
It's TottenhamOnTour.com. It's pretty simple stuff.
1 second, and big up to Heath for that response.
We'll get the link in. We'll get the link in. It
just makes it easier,
Yeah, we'll get the link in, Bobby. Thanks for making us look bad.
I'm doing it right now.
Whether it's right or wrong.
I thought you did it on purpose to test me to see if I was paying attention.
Yeah, of course I did, mate.
There you go. So there is the link. Let me just make sure I spelled it right. Tottenham on Tour. Yes.
What are you doing?
TottenhamOnTour.com.
What are you doing? No, but it's been a pleasure with this show and this channel, and obviously we've shifted from Brian being in the UK back into Canada, and we're doing new back into Canada. We're doing new shows. The Late Show. This is every Wednesday, every Sunday. We got the post game results with Brian and Johnny. Fantastic Ange management, one of the best shows that we have on the channel, and reactions from everybody, and we're going to continue to grow it and continue to give you guys as much as we can give you. We really appreciate all the support and everything you guys are doing. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. We'll be back soon.
I'm just going to add to that as well. There is a show, or I don't know if you want to call it, there's something we're working on, and we're going to be asking for a lot of people to participate. So we're going to be reaching out to people across the world to see if they want to participate in this. This could be massive. This could be big, and it will only be that way with the incredible support that Tottenham on Tour have from their subscribers and viewers. So thank you to all of you. What I will say in closing,
to all the roadies,
exactly. What I will say for a change is, please like, comment, share, and as always,
Oh.
Levy out.
Come on.